Today, we're going to add support for multiple lights in Unity's Forward Plus render path to our custom lighting model. Let's go. Alright, so we're in the middle of a series of videos on making custom lighting models. Usually, when you use a node-based shader editor like Unity's Shader Graph or Unreal's Material Editor, you're able to control the base color, normal, smoothness, metallic, the surface properties of your model with the graph. But in this series, I'm showing you how to use the graph to actually calculate the lighting. And the cool thing about that is that you can leave out features to make the lighting cheaper, or you can change the lighting around to stylize the results. A couple of weeks ago, I showed how to create this subgraph here called Additional Lights. Inside this subgraph, we're running a custom function that loops through all of the additional lights in the scene and does the lighting calculations for them. To keep things simple in that video, I only showed how to do these calculations for Unity's forward render path, and I didn't include what was needed to support Forward Plus. Now, a lot of you mentioned down in the comments that you'd really like to see how to support Forward Plus, so today I'm going to go over that. But first, let me show you what I mean. In our sample scene here, we've got a couple of lion models, and the models are lit by one main directional light that's white. And then I've also thrown in a couple of point lights as well. I've got a red and a blue one there. Down here at the bottom, you can see that I've got my universal render data asset open. And you can see here that in the settings, my rendering path is set to forward. Now, while I'm in forward, my custom function node is working correctly to calculate the lighting for all of the lights in the scene. But if I switch this to Forward Plus, you'll see that the lights stop working. So let's go ahead and make the changes that are needed in order to support the Forward Plus rendering path. The first thing that I'm going to do is in my additional lights subgraph, I'm going to select my custom function here, my add additional lights custom function, and I'm going to add a new input to the function that's called screen position. So there's my new input, and I need to make sure that I make it a vector 2 because screen position has both an X and a Y coordinate. And then I'm going to come over here and we're going to add a screen position node to my graph, and I'm going to connect up my screen position node to the screen position input on my subgraph there. So now I've added screen position as an input to my custom function. So now I need to use screen position and add a little bit of extra code to the code that I've got here so that we can support the Forward Plus rendering path. Now, I don't really like trying to edit code in this small window here because it's kind of confined and difficult to see. And so let's open up a different text editor. I'm going to use Notepad++ here. And that way I can make the text bigger and a little bit easier for you guys to see. So here's the code that we've been working on. And so what we do here at the top is we define our diffuse and our specular and our color outputs. And then we, inside this, if shader graph preview is defined, we do all of our light calculations. That's because we don't have access to the lighting information inside the shader graph preview. So we need to make sure that we isolate our code so that if shader graph is calculating its preview, it can skip all of this. So here we get the number of additional lights, and then we start our light loop. And for each of the lights, we do this math here to calculate the correct lighting for each of the lights. And then down here at the bottom, we accumulate the diffuse, the specular, and the color of the lighting. So in order to support forward plus, we need to add some additional information. This light loop begin macro in Unity's rendering code, if we're using forward plus, it requires a couple of extra bits of data. And so let's go ahead and add those. I'm just going to copy and paste these in. And so we're going to say, if we're using forward plus, then define this new bit of data called input data, and we're just going to set it to 0 initially. And then we're going to set two different properties of input data. We're going to set normalized screen space UV to the screen position. This is the node that we added to the function. So we're going to pass in screen position and set this normalized screen space UV to that. And then we're also going to set input data dot position WS to our world position. So when we do this light loop here, this macro requires the input data variable, and it uses the normalized screen space UV value and also the screen position value to calculate correct lighting. So we need to make sure that the input data is defined and then it has normalized screen space UV and position WS set. So with this code defined, now we can loop through our lights and calculate the correct lighting. Now there's a feature here in this function that's specific to the forward renderer, and that's get per object light index. So we need to make sure that we're only doing this if we're in forward and not if we're using forward plus. And so the way that we can do that is we can add a new line of code here that says if we're not using forward plus, then set up our light index. And we'll just add an end if right there. Okay, so this is what's required to do forward plus. The kind of heavy lifting for forward plus happens inside this light loop macro, and so we don't have to worry about that much at all, other than to only calculate this light index inside the loop if we're using forward and not forward plus. Now there is one more little bonus thing that I want to add. Since we're here inside this code and making edits to the code, I thought I might just throw in the ability to support light cookies. Now, if you're not familiar with light cookies, it's a way to use a texture to control the shape of your light source. And it's pretty easy to support these. I'm just going to come down here to where we're doing this accumulate light step. And I'm going to paste in a couple of extra lines right here. And I'll explain what's going on just a second. Let me get these formatted well. So we're going to say if we're using light cookies, then create this float3 variable called cookie color, and then sample our light cookie texture, sample additional light cookie using our light index and our world position. And then we're just going to take that light cookie value that we sampled and multiply our light color by that. So we're going to take our light cookie and multiply it by the color of our light to mask off areas of the light that we don't want to show. So we're basically using that light cookie to shape the light. So that's just one additional feature that we weren't supporting before, but now we can since I decided to dive back into our code. Okay, so that's all we need to do. We're now supporting the forward plus rendering path. So all we need to do now is take this code that we just wrote and we'll switch back to Unity. And instead of what we had before, now I'll paste in our new code here instead. So we can save what we've done there. And there is one last thing that we need to do in order for Forward Plus to start working with our additional lights. And that is, we need to come back here to our base shader. Here is the simple lighting subgraph that we created. And inside this is all of the logic that we have for calculating lighting. And so in this base shader graph, this is the shader that we have assigned to our lighting model, or to our lion model here. We need to create a new keyword Boolean. And we're going to call this forward plus. We need to define the forward plus keyword, all capitals with an underscore there. And then we need to come over here to the graph inspector and make sure this reference is set to underscore forward plus. All right, and then we're going to set a couple of these other parameters. We're going to set the definition to multi-compile. We're going to check is overridable. We're going to turn off generate material property, and that should do it for us. So now we can save that. And now with all of those changes done, now if I come over to rendering path and I switch forward to forward plus, you'll see that our light sources are still working. So unlike before, where our lion turned gray, now because we've added what was needed to support forward plus, we're actually able to render multiple light sources in forward plus as well. So now it's easy, and we can actually switch back and forth. We can use forward, and we can also use forward plus, and both methods work. So I know a lot of you were requesting this down in the comments. I hope this was helpful. Let me know if you use this and if it's working correctly for you, or if you're running into issues. I'd love to hear from you to know if this video was helpful. Anyway, that's it for today's video. Next week, I think we're going to do a little bit of editing of our lighting model to create a more stylized look for our lighting. So be sure to come back next week for that. All right, have a great week, everybody.